Hello everybody, my name is Simply Valka, and in this video I'm doing a pick a card for Hecate. I'm actually doing this video especially for a new friend that I made on YouTube. Her name is Paranormal Leslie. I'm going to link her channel down below. But yeah, we've been connecting on Twitter and Instagram, and it's just been, I love her so much. She does videos on, she goes to like different cemeteries and communicates with those who've passed on. She has a bunch of different equipment that she does and all that, and she just travels around in different cemeteries, graveyards, and all that. It's really cool. So I'll leave her stuff down below, but Leslie, this video is for you. So getting right into this video, if you're not familiar with pick cards, is what I do is I shuffle off camera and have 4 different piles. In this case, it's 4 different piles for messages that Hecate has for you. And so in a moment, I'm going to pull up the 4 crystals for the pile that represent the piles. I'm going to have you choose from pile number 1 to pile number 4. So what I want you to do to pick your pile is I want you to close your eyes, meditate, count to 3, open your eyes, and then whatever pile you first look at and you feel called to the most, that is the pile meant for you. So I'm going to change the camera view over so you can pick the piles. All right, everybody. So before you pick your pile, let me just talk about which pile is which. Pile number 1 is actually sodalite, a sodalite pillar. Pile number 2 is labradorite. Pile number 3 is a clear quartz pillar. And then pile number 4, apparently with that voice crack, anyways. Pile number 4 is rose quartz, a rose quartz pillar. So what I want you guys to do, as I said before, is to close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths in, and then release them. And after you release your 3rd breath, I want you to open your eyes and see whichever pile is calling to you the most. So what I want you guys to do is just pause this video while you take your 3 breaths, and then to look at your pile. And once you pick your pile, I'm going to leave in the description box below the timestamp for each one, and so you can go right to your pile and we can get started with your reading. But yeah, let's go, guys. All right, people who chose pile number 1, let's see what cards we have for you from Hecate. We have real thick piles for everybody, so I'm really excited to see what messages come forward to you guys. And already, just looking at this initial spread, I feel like I'll pull more cards if I feel like it's necessary, but so far I think we're doing pretty good. So what's calling out to me the most right now is actually the Lover's card. I feel like the Lover's card is what's really kind of like the theme of your guys' reading. The Lover's card says intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, and good health. And so right off the bat, I feel like Hecate is going to be speaking to you guys in terms of your dynamic on relationships. So whether this is relationships intimately, this is relationships just work relationships, family relationships, platonic relationships, just those kind of your relationships and relationships, your relation, hello, boy, relationships, y'all's relationships in general is what Hecate is going to be touching on. And it's appropriate, hello, apparently I can't speak, y'all. It's appropriate during this time right now as well, because I'm pretty sure Venus is going into retrograde right now, and during all that, like, Venus is like the epitome of like relationships. So yeah, going on with the Lover's card, this is very much the representation for what Hecate is going to be touching on with you guys. So first and foremost, the next card I'm going to be talking about is the first quarter moon, your commitments being tested. So how this is working in terms of your dynamic with your relationships is, I kind of feel like, you know, for some of you guys in pile number 1, you guys, this is kind of like a test. Like the universe, your spirit guides, because that's what the Pueo owl is for. That's a representation of your spirit guides. But this is kind of saying that the universe is kind of using people in your life, the relationships in your life, to test you, to really teach you the lessons that you need to be taught. And also to kind of, I feel like, bring out some of the parts of your shadow as well. You know, I feel like this is a time for you to start analyzing what it is that you guys are feeling, how you guys are reacting, how you guys are handling the relationships in your life right now, and break it down. Don't take what's happening to you as something that can be overwhelming, something that can be, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what Hecate is trying to say is that don't take what right now as a sign of like cleansing, but more so as a sign of being grateful that you have relationships in your life that are bringing these parts out of you that you could now hone in on and really start building into your characters. Does that make sense? So I guess really what I'm trying to say is Hecate is trying to speak to you guys right now is that don't take what's happening in your guys' relationships right now. Don't take this as a sign of being like, okay, this is why I need to write this person off. That's not the case at all. Don't do that. I'm sure obviously it's going to be different for, it's very individual for each person for how it is. But, you know, if someone's just pissing you off right now, if someone's just bringing out a little insecurity in you, that's not a sign that you need to cleanse that friendship. That's not a sign that you need to end that friendship, have it come to a completion. That's not what it's saying at all. What Hecate is trying to say is this is the time for you to really realize the mouse card, which says you're overlooking some important details, so pay closer attention to what's going on, and don't let your past hold you back. The South Node, these two as well, how they're working with your relationships and your commitments being tested, is telling me that you guys, you know, you're not getting the whole picture here. You know, this is you don't want to react, just like with anything, you don't want to react without knowing all the information. So really, because of this, you don't know all the information, you don't know what all is going on. All you can really do is self-reflect and work on yourself. This mouse card is really quite literally a confirmation with the Pueo card saying your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance right now. So pay close attention to them, to signs and omens from them. So this is right here, how all these cards, I'm jumping from all these cards right now because they all go together so beautifully, is that how it's saying is your guides, this, when the prayer card comes forward, this is quite literally a sign from your spirit guides. This is a sign from Hecate saying that, like, Hecate is laying out the framework, or not the framework, but leaving breadcrumbs for you to follow. Hecate is trying to show you what your next step is. You know, if you are in a place right now where you feel like you're in a rut, I would love to ask you, when's the last time you asked yourself, what is the next right move for yourself? And Hecate is really, and I say Hecate, but also when the prayer card comes forward, really your spirit guides are trying to come in as well, you guys, and say that they're leaving breadcrumbs for you, and pay attention. The breadcrumbs are through your relationships. You know, this is a time for you guys, I feel like, to really start healing and to not really react. Because again, like, you're having two different cards of where it's talking about perspective here. And so you're not getting the whole picture. So because you're not getting the whole picture, if you choose to react right now, it's going to just end badly for you. I don't really, just to be blunt on it, that I feel like this is for people, you guys in pile number one, I feel like I can be very blunt with you, that in that I feel like people in pile number one, you can kind of let your emotions get the best of you at times, whether you want to admit it or not, because it happens to all of us. But I feel like people in pile number one, especially right now, maybe it's just because you're in a high stress situation that you kind of you just end up reacting more emotionally because you're already emotionally charged. But really, this is what I'm getting for you guys, that is Hecate is trying to just bring out these shadow parts of yourself to really start working on with yourself. You know, we have the Angel of Rain, y'all, I'm gonna be honest here, I don't know how to say their name. Metariel, Archangel and Metariel, and this is the Angel of Rain. What do you think of rain? You think of cleansing. This is the time for you, you know, you think of rain, it's just like rain from the eyes, like you're crying. You know, this makes sense with shadow work, you're probably going to be crying, not to really like spook you guys, but as well as like rain is very cleansing. This is the time for you to really cleanse your like these insecurities in yourself, cleanse these bad habits that are no longer serving you. And the only way that they're really going to fully be able to be cleansed is by experiencing these insecurities, and or rather not experiencing them, well, yes, experiencing them, but have them brought up. And the only way to have them brought up in a way for you to actually be able to address them is through the relationships in your life that you actively have right now. You know, this is the time for you to start paying attention. This is the time for you to start this, you know, it says this first quarter moon says you're being tested right now. You're kind of being tested on how, in less subtle words, and like how good of a friend you are able to be. You know, are you going to allow your own insecurities get the best of you and affect your friendships, or are you going to allow this to be a time where it really develops your character? Really, you know, this is a big, bold vision. This is Hecate kind of trying to remind you as well. She's like, what is the bigger picture here? And then, you know, part of the motivation for trying to develop yourself as a character is because of the vision that you have for yourself in 3 years, the vision that you have for yourself at the end of this year. You know, we have the Page of Fire as well, which says news and an exciting new endeavor, use your originality and ingenuity. You know, this is a sign of a card for a Page of Fire. Is like the only way you're going to get to this new exciting endeavor is if you focus on your big bold vision and not get into the dramas of situations. You know, you have to allow these situations to just build yourself up as a character. I keep repeating myself because we have the Ten of Air as well, which says the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Recovering from an addiction, but usually when it says recovering from an addiction, just kind of like recovering from bad habits and all of that, and that kind of spectrum. So really, this is kind of like, if you're waiting for you guys in pile number one, if you're waiting for that next step, if you are feeling like you're a little lost, if you're feeling like you're in a rut right now, this is a time for you to really start developing yourself as a character, overcoming your shadows, and really not overcoming your shadows, but allowing it to be, you know, not hold you back, I guess. No longer allowing insecurities to hold you back anymore. And once you start embracing these changes in yourself and then start embracing these insecurities in yourself, that is when the difficulty is going to start ending. You know, the Ten of Air talks about the end of a difficult situation. This is a beautiful pair up with it. You know, you have the end of a difficult situation and the news of an exciting endeavor. So you're quite literally closing the chapter of a book. But Hecate is not going to allow you to go to the next chapter until you address everything, all those little notes that you've been avoiding for the past several chapters. You know, it got you this far, and job well done. But at this point on, this new and exciting endeavor, it's something built up really well for you. And, you know, Hecate is not playing games when she's trying to manifest things in your life right now. Your guides aren't playing games right now. Your guides are so strong that they came into the reading that's just meant for Hecate, right? They're not playing games when they're trying to create this life for you. And so this is really just a time for you guys to overcome these things that have been holding you back, that have been part of your story for so long that you aren't even proud of having it be part of your story. When are you ready to finally start the next chapter? You need to have your actions represent what it is that you are saying, or what it is that you're actually wanting. If you're saying that you're wanting to lose that extra 10 pounds, if you're saying you're wanting to be able to start creating more, if you're saying you're wanting to catch up, whatever it is, when are you going to start embracing that change? When are you going to start putting action towards that change? When are you going to start reminding yourself of the big, bold, emphasis on bold vision that you have, and start putting action towards it? And people in pile number one, for the crystal that Hecate chose for you guys to start connecting with is Agilite. So what I always suggest for people whenever I use the crystal deck is to look up the metaphysical benefits of it and see what aspect of the crystal makes sense for you and how it's going to resonate with you. Because I always like to have purposeful crystals, not necessarily crystals just because they look pretty, but what purpose are they bringing? What purpose do they have that I'm bringing, and what reason do they have for me to bring it into my life, into my space? And so by knowing what the metaphysical benefits of the crystal is, or the stone is, you'll be able to, if you choose to pick up this stone, you'll be able to utilize it to the best of your resonance. And so the quote I also have for you guys in pile number one is, "The universe works fast when I'm having fun." So I love this card so much. This is such a fitting way to end people in pile number one's reading, because this is such a sign to me that it's just like, once you're able to just start having faith in your universe and stop taking everything so seriously and stop taking everything so personal, that's when the universe is going to actively work in your favor and start giving you these new endeavors. You know, once you start embracing the universe and like the lessons that it has, that's really when change starts happening for you guys. So I love you guys so much in pile number one. I really hope this reading brings resonance to you. If it did, please let me know in the comments below which card resonated with you, and if it did, if this reading did resonate with you, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. Let me know which card resonated with you and how it resonated with you. And if you like future picker cards or just spiritual things in general, I would love for you to click the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and a thumbs up. But I love you guys so much, and until next time, bye guys. All right, people in pile number two, let's see what cards Hecate pulled for you, or what cards I pulled from Hecate for you guys, and what message she has for you guys. So let me see what the card that I'm getting right now that I feel like is going to be the theme of your guys' reading is I feel like for you guys in pile number 2, it's going to be the release card, Archangel Azrael. We have, this card says, the end of a phase or a situation, spiritual transformation, and in a time to move on. You know, this is, I feel like, the sign for, like, the epitome of what Hecate is trying to tell you guys is to learn to move on, whether this is moving on from a person, whether this is moving on from a relationship, whether this is just moving on from an emotion, or just a constant loop that you've been having, constant pattern that you've been having, whether this is with habits or people. This is a time for you just to put an end to this, and time to actively move on to the next phase in your life right now. What do you need to release? You know, when it says the end of a phase or situation, this could mean multiple things. For some people, I'm sure this could mean, with some people, but I feel like a lot of people in pile number 2, it's going to be end of a phase of a certain vibration for you. I feel like this is what I mean by this is that, you know, you're going to start utilizing your time better. You're going to, and the only way you're going to be able to utilize your time better is by starting to edit what it is, the habits that you're doing right now that are no longer serving you. You know, maybe I feel like in pile number 2, you guys are going to start creating a routine for yourself. If you haven't already created a routine for yourself, people in pile number 2, I strongly suggest for you guys to do that right now. That's definitely what I'm getting from Hecate. Also right now we have the Magician card, which says, is from Archangel Raziel. And this card says, you are ready, you have the resources and the ability to manifest them, life is magical. So this is such a, you know, this is such a beautiful card and how it's working in dynamic with the release card, because this is kind of saying, you're kind of making space for the things that you're able to actively manifest, the things that are coming into your life. And really, when it comes to tarot, you have to read in between the lines. And what Hecate is trying to really imply to you guys right now is that, you know, this is time for you to make space. This is time for you to make space in your house. This is time to make space in your mind. This is time to make space in your schedule, to really start setting yourself up for success. What does your work foundation look like? What does your foundation just look like in general for your life? You know, this, especially during a time right now as I'm recording this, what is your daily routine like? You know, I know for some people every day's just been a blur, me included. So this is kind of like a call out and being like, why does your day feel like a blur? What is it that you're doing every single day that doesn't separate it from another day? You know, this is a time for you to not get into monotonous flows. You always want to be challenging yourself. If you're getting too comfortable where every day is starting to turn into a blur, that means you need to start changing things up. That means you need to start upping the ante on some aspect and really start reminding yourself of the passions, you know. Because we have the Ten of Earth, and this goes quite beautifully with the Magician card, because the Ten of Earth says a very happy family life, financial security, and finding magic in the little things in life. So I feel like this is kind of a card that is in between these two, right? So overall, we're getting from Hecate right now is she's saying that you need to make space. And I kind of feel like with this card, this is also giving me confirmation that this is more of like a mental thing, more so than like people or like material things. This is more so like with the self and like things in the self and the mental that you need to release. Because when this Ten of Earth card comes forward, telling you to find the magic in little things in life, this card usually comes forward for people that need to start fixing their mindset a little bit, start practicing gratitude a lot more. You know, so it's very easy to not practice gratitude if it feels like in times in life where it just feels like you're constantly being challenged and constantly having things thrown at you, and you just don't have time to just stop and smell the flowers. Well, Hecate is kind of challenging you on that and telling you, just like, hey, if you want to start attracting these higher vibrational things, you need to fix your mindset. You need to start clearing space. I'm not going to get you better things until you start taking care of the things that you have, until you start appreciating the things that you have, until you start showing the gratitude of this place that you're in, because you would have died to be in the situation that you're in. For some of you guys, I feel like in pile number 2, like you've wanted to accomplish, like you haven't appreciated what you've accomplished. You haven't appreciated what it is that you have in your life right now, because you're just so like focused on the material things and just so focused on not just being hard on yourself as well, because we have this card, the Softly, the Tender Touch card, which really is just a sign of being kinder to yourself. And also the New Moon in Virgo, this card says a time to give rather than take. I feel like for you guys in pile number 2, this is a time for you guys to really start doing things, just raise your vibration. I feel like some of you guys in pile number 2 have been in kind of like a stalemate recently. Or maybe not a stalemate, but like maybe like a little bit like the energy is just a little bit stale for you. Maybe like rut's not a word for it, but just like you're just feeling off. If you guys in pile number 2 have been feeling off lately, what Hecate is really strongly suggesting to you guys is to start practicing gratitude a lot more in your life. You know, there's going to be, if you feel like the universe hasn't been gifting you anything, you feel like everything's just been working against you, how often have you been practicing gratitude? How often have you given thanks for what it is that you has been manifested in your life right now? Because while yes, you are a powerful manifester, let us not forget the mysteries, the angel of mysteries, the card that comes forward as well, the angel of mysteries that brings these things towards you as well. You know, when is the last time you've shown appreciation, like truly shown appreciation, truly gone out of your way to show that appreciation, that show that gratitude to Hecate, to you guys, whoever it is that is actively, just any being that is part of your life, you should be practicing gratitude to. Just the very fact that they are choosing to connect with you, that's something you should have gratitude about. Just be the very fact that you're able to just watch this video and be able to get a reading from Hecate, a message from Hecate, just having gratitude on that. Those are the things that's going to raise your vibration, finding the magic in little things in life, and that's going to attract the positive, like happy home life, that's going to attract the financial abundance that you guys have been wanting, you know. By choosing to start giving energy and start choosing to be more charitable as well, you're raising your vibration, choosing to clear stuff out rather than taking and feeling as if like you need to hermit it up. This is the time for you guys to start being more giving, not maybe just with your material things, but actually just with time as well. When is the last time you spent like actual personal time and made an actual effort in connecting with people, the people in your life right now? Are you taking people in your life right now for granted? You know, that's a very strong possibility as well for what you guys need to be considering. We have the octopus card, which talks about practicing shape-shifting by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. So this is definitely a card that I feel like is very fitting as well after you choose to release. So when you're choosing to release this, I feel like for people in pile number 2, where this is also talking about health as well, for when the octopus card comes in with the end of a phase. I feel like for some of you guys, this is going to be the time for you guys to start jump-starting your health kick. You know, when you start working with Hecate, or really any spiritual being, that's always going to be an emphasis, is your health. What does your physical health look like? What does your mental health look like? Let's not neglect that as well. You know, your mental health could be, I mean, not to be blunt, but your mental health could be abysmal as well. You know, for the very fact that Hecate is giving you several different cards, asking you to raise your vibration in different ways by finding the magic and practicing gratitude and things in your life and choosing to give rather than taking right now. There's definitely an emphasis on raising your vibration and to really start releasing habits that are no longer serving you, and to start really just overall just taking that shift and getting yourself out of that cesspool. And yeah, so the stone that I pulled for you guys that Hecate would like for you guys to work with in pile number 2 is the labradorite. Labradorite's wonderful, has wonderful traits to it. I'm not going to bother going into detail about it. I always suggest to look up the metaphysical benefits and see how the labradorite is going to work for you and how it's going to resonate with you. So if you do choose to work with a stone, the stone can be a purposeful stone rather than just picking up the stone because it's a pretty stone, right? And the quote that I have for you guys from Hecate is, I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself that I am love and miracles are natural. So this is, again, like such a card for a shift in your mindset, you know. This is really a quote. It can sound cheesy, but I feel like this is such a relevant card for you guys' reading in pile number 2. So I'm going to read it again for you guys because I just love it. I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself that I am love and miracles are natural. So this is just a reminder of yourself of just the good in life right now. Really, in pile number 2, I want you guys to start practicing gratitude. And I feel like that's really the message Hecate wants to come across to you guys. And so, yeah, that's really the cards that I have for you guys in pile number 2. If this reading did resonate with you guys, I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below how this reading resonated with you. Let me know which card called to you the most and how it worked in your situation. I would just love to hear about it. And if you love this video and you love future pick a card and you would love to have future picker cards done, please let me know what kind of picker card you would like, and hit subscribe on my channel and give me a like so it encourages me to do more of these. But I love you guys so much, and until next time, bye guys. Right, people in pile number 3, let's see what cards Hecate has for you guys. And you guys have a really thick pile. I think you guys, out of all the piles, got the most cards. Or at least I would hope, because this is already a lot. So, just give me a moment to get all these cards adjusted before I... Okay, so this is really a time for you guys. I'm going to read your guys' quote card first. This card says, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Now, as cheesy as this quote sounds, we have to just kind of break it down into just like real people terms rather than just fluffy terms, right? What this is really trying to say is just a reminder of that the universe is your teacher, and that reminding yourself that the experiences that you're having right now is here to teach you something. So that's what I feel like the theme for you guys that Hecate has for you guys. And for pile number 3, the message that Hecate has for you guys is that the universe, that anything that she's bringing forward to you right now, she's trying to teach you something. So take this as a sign of an opportunity to build your character rather than taking it personal and internalizing it. I feel like it's important for me to say this because there's just so much like emotional, just like blah, I don't know another word for it, just like a lot going on. The emotions are really high for you guys in pile number 3. I say this because we have the balsamic moon, which says a time for healing right now, and to have this, it's interesting because we have a time for healing, and then we also have the gorilla card, which says take the time to listen compassionately to those you love, especially your family members. So I feel like in pile number 3, you guys, you're going to kind of you're either going to experience or you're going to give some tough love. That's definitely what I feel like. But I feel like you guys are going to experience a little bit of tough love. You're going to experience a harsh lesson through the outlet of someone that is close to you. That's really what I'm getting. We have the penguin card, but I feel like this is essential for you guys, but it's not something to be feared, because we do have the penguin card, which says the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. So it's like, after this confrontation, as long as you don't allow this confrontation to be the end of your relationship, whether this is with family, whether this is platonic or romantic, whatever your relationship is, if you don't allow this confrontation to be the end of your connection with them, this is going to be, after this, you're going to really have, and you listen to them, you truly listen to them, you listen to them and realize the lesson that what the tough love is trying to teach you. That is when the phase is over, that is when the lesson is over, and that's when you can go on to the next lesson, right? And so we have the 2 of Earth. No, actually, I don't want to go to 2 of Earth quite yet. We have the Elk card as well, which says, stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with that respect that you deserve. So this is a card, I feel like, that is like, you know, when you experience that confrontation, people can react in various ways, and most of the time it's not going to be positive, right? Because people just don't deal with confrontation well. It's understandable, right? But the thing is, confrontation can only go negative if both parties allow it to go negative. So what I mean by this is, once you experience this tough love, if you're feeling disrespected, the way to go about it, or if you're feeling hurt, the way to go about it is just expressing it, but expressing it in a mature way, not expressing it in a reactive way, not expressing it in a way that you wouldn't be proud of later in your behavior, right? You know, this is a time of showing the example of how you would like to be treated. Treat others in how you would like to be treated, right? So if it's like, if you maintain a level of dignity, if you maintain a level of respect, those who that you are connecting with, that you're experiencing this tough love with, is going to respond to that and mirror that. So you want to really take control of this situation, even if it is a confrontation that you're having to experience, as long as you maintain dignity and you are respectful. You don't just allow this to be like a negative thing. You don't allow it to consume you, right? you know, I want to go into the Two of Earth, which says too much going on at once, the need to make a decision and consider a more playful approach. You know, if you take this time to just not take things as seriously, not to take these things as something personal, and really allow it to help you grow, allow it to be your teacher, this is really how things are going to start shining, right? We have the Focus on the Light card, which I feel like is a card for you guys in pile number 3 to remind you of seeing the good in people. So while you may be experiencing this confrontation, or you are the one going through with this confrontation with another person, you need to always give the other person or persons the benefit of the doubt. You know, instead of focusing on like the potential bad parts about them, the potential shut up parts about them, focus on the lighter parts about them. Focus on the lighter parts about yourself. You always want to, well, I don't want to say you always want to, but at least in my perspective, you always want to give people the benefit of the doubt and look for the best in people that you allow in your circle, at least, because, you know, if you don't, they have to be good people if you let them in your circle in the first place. So be willing to give them that chance. Be willing to allow them to be the teacher, and not have the teacher just be a substitute role, you know, where the substitute isn't permanent in your life. So think about it in that way, right? Really focus on the light. Don't allow these dark thoughts to consume and treat them as facts, because they're definitely not facts. That's really what I'm getting, is like, you guys really need to just start taking a more playful approach, right? You have the King of Fire, which says focus, focus, focus. Communicate with a vision and be a leader. Advice from someone creative. So this is definitely a time that, like, again, like, you guys are going to, you know, this is very much so reminiscent of the Elf card as well, which is saying that you guys are definitely going to be the representation for how the situation is going to be handled. You know, if you allow it to go sky high with sky high emotions and you choose to respond that way, that's how it's going to be. You're the one that's going to be setting the tone for how this conversation is going to go for you guys, for how this lesson is going to be presented to you guys. So really what Hecate is trying to say is just own your power, but don't be a douche about it, right? Don't own your power and feel like you're better than the other individual, because you're not. No one's better than another person. But, you know, maintain just a level of self-respect, but also maintain a respect for the other individual as well, for the fact that they even trust you enough to say anything in the first place. This is assuming that they're the ones confronting you, right? You know, don't take things personal. That's really what I'm getting, is don't take things personal. Allow it to teach you something. We have Eight of Fire as well, which says events are moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things are happening all at once. So really, this is a time for you guys right now that I feel like during this time, while you deal with this confrontation, I feel like it's also going to be the switch that has like a bunch of things start happening to you guys at once. I feel like this is going to be like the avalanche, that I say avalanche as an example, but avalanche sounds dramatic and bad, but like just a downfall effect, or just like downpour effect, or just a whole bunch of other things just coming down at you at once. So it's like, it's such a push. Hecate is pushing so much for you to keep in mind of how you're handling situations, because you're going to be dealing with so much, pile number 3. It'll be very easy to just be consumed by it and to just really snap. And so that's why it's going to be really important to just pay attention to where your mind is at, right? And but I don't, the reason why I didn't want to say avalanche and have it be like sound like a negative thing, because it truly isn't a negative thing. You know, all the things that are happening in your life right now, it's not bad. You know, I guess it could kind of seem bad because it's just like dealing with like this potential confrontation, but it's like, if you allow, like, the positive thing in all of this is, if you allow this to just help you grow as a person, you don't let it to end your relationship. We have such good things coming to you, which would, while it's happening after a later point, you'll be like, if you end these relationships, you'd be like, why did I end it with them? This is it was silly, right? Because this Page of Earth card says good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study, and also new moons of Sagittarius, luck is on your side. This is such two cards to have, such beautiful cards to have on top of the events moving at a fast pace. Three different cards, which is just very good cards talking about what your future is going to look like. So like, at the very least, I feel like with some people in pile number 3, you guys are gonna be like, I feel like some of you guys are just gonna like have like a tipping point where you just kind of blow up. really don't blow up right now. I know you guys are feeling overwhelmed right now in pile number 3. I really feel the energy from you guys. But truly with your cards and what Hecate is trying to get across to you guys is that there's so much, your story gets so much better soon, you guys, that it's just like, don't allow this blip right now to really impact your relationships that could really be with you for a long time right now. That's really what I'm getting, is that the relationships that you have right now, they're worth fighting for. They're worth trying to maintain. They're worth just keeping, because they're definitely, again, I'm going to read your guys' quote: when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. So again, when you accept these lessons, when you accept this confrontation with love, and you focus on the light parts about it, and you give them the benefit of the doubt, and you realize that they're just doing this because they love you, that is when you're going to allow them to teach you, and teach you for a long period of time. It's not going to be a missed opportunity, right? And the crystal stone card that I pulled for you guys, that Hecate is suggesting for you guys in pile number 3 to work with, is Mukite. Mukite, so I love saying the name Mukite. What I always suggest to people is to look up the metaphysical benefits of the stone, so that way you can see how Mukite is resonant to you and what purpose it would serve in your life. So that way you're able to pick up a purposeful stone rather than a stone that just looks pretty, or a stone that you were just told to pick up, right? We always want to have stones in our life that are actively working with us on specific things, so that we're utilizing these tools to the best of our ability, because that's what crystals and stones are, right? Is tools from the from Earth. And so yeah, that's the cards that I have for you guys in pile number 3. If you guys love this reading, please let me know. Let me in the comments below. Let me know how the cards resonate with you, and like how which card called out to you the most. I would love to hear about it. And if you do like picker cards and you would like to see future picker cards, hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, because that really motivates me to do more. But until next time, guys, I love you so much. Bye. Right, people in pile number 4, let's see what cards you guys have. Messages from Hecate. Now, I'm going to need a moment to just take your guys' cards in to see. Okay. So, what I'm going to go into first, I'm going to read the quote card first for you guys in pile number 4. This card says, "My capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost." This is really such a beautiful card, and I feel like the theme for you guys in pile number 4. And what I mean by this is because all your cards right now, I feel like this is such a time for you to identify each part of like what's happening to you, the events happening to you right now. Identify how you need to, what energy you need to receive this at, and always come in from a very clean slate. What I really want to suggest to you guys in pile number 4 is to really make it a point to cleanse. I feel like you guys in pile number 4, what I'm really getting from Hecate right now is that you guys need to cleanse, and not just do like a once. I feel like almost, I would even say like a daily cleanse, maybe just while you're in hermit mode right now, because we have the hermit card, which says spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So maybe every single day while in meditation, burn some incense, burn some Palo Santo, burn some sage, whatever you can burn that can start helping cleanse your space, cleanse your energy right now. I feel like you guys are either pile number 4 dealing with just a lot of different energies that like really just attach onto you and just really start draining you, or you just have a lot of different responsibilities and a lot of people just rely on you. And so it's just like, all these different situations are asking or calling different parts of you to start practicing in yourself, whether that is the time for compassion or to forgive, or when you need to use your voice, or when to reclaim the power that you lost in yourself. Definitely, like, I definitely feel like routine cleansing for you guys. Routine cleansing and just meditation and really putting things in perspective, because you guys in pile number 4, you guys have a really stressful time. That's what I'm really getting for you guys. We have the camel card as well. You know, during all these trying times, like, if you don't already, there is the push for you guys to do meditation from Hecate as well, because you have the camel card, which says trust that you have the resources to get you through the challenges before you. So this is kind of like Hecate saying, she's like, hey, kind of like a confirmation. It's like, yeah, the rough part's not over for y'all yet, baby. And pile number 4 is, I know some of you guys might not want to hear that, but you guys still definitely have some lessons to be going through right now. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like you just can't go any further right now, that you just can't deal with it anymore, this is time for you to start spending more time in quiet meditation. This is time for you to start cleansing. Once you start having these negative thoughts clouding your mind, that's when you want to start cleansing. I feel like you guys in pile number 4, you guys need to make a very conscious effort of keeping your mental in check and keeping the energy that's in your space in check. We have the So I'm going to talk about this card. We have the New Birth, Guarded Vigilant, girl. New Birth, Guarded Vigilant, girl. Guarded Vigilantly. Why was that so hard to say? Guarded vigilantly. So really what I'm getting right now, this is what I feel like Hecate is trying to tell you guys, to really start opening yourselves up more. Start exposing this part of you where you didn't normally ever expose before. Allow yourself to be a bit more sensitive. Allow yourself to be a little bit more vulnerable. Practice vulnerability a little bit more. We have the full moon in Aquarius, which says, show the world the real you. This is really a time for you guys to start practicing being more authentic. This is the time for you to really start being the best representation of yourself that you possibly can. You know, we have, and I say this because we have the 5 of air, which says an unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation and review everyone's motives. I feel like this is a time for you to start reflecting. This is definitely like a time for you guys to start reflecting and figuring out why it is relationships are being handled or are going the way that they are. And I feel like it's partially linked to how much you're like truly allowing yourself to be open to other individuals, allowing yourself to show this part of yourself that you usually guard, that's this more sensitive plant. I don't know why I say plant, you know, like a delicate plant, right? This is that really emotional, sensitive part of you that you always feel guarded, need to guard. Maybe you feel the need to guard it because of like past people's motives and like how they used to hurt you before. But this is kind of taking a negative impact in your guys' relationships, and that's why when we have like the quote card, this is the time there's going to be times that you need to start practicing compassion and the time to forgive. And you know, I feel like it's very necessary for, and not just like a waste for it to bring it a point to talk about forgiveness and compassion in the same way, in the same message that it's also asking you to speak up and the power that you need when you're lost. I feel like with this quote is asking you to not internalize it, but to go within and to really see what it is that you can practice in yourself to other people rather than blaming. So really, instead of like blaming it on the other person, being like, oh, I don't like this characteristic about this person, or whatever it is, you know, this is the time for being like, okay, what do I need to like bring in this time? And notice how all of it's very positive emotions. Has no room in talking about being like feeding your ego, no room in talking about like cutting people down or whatever. This is all about just, you know, going deeper in yourself and seeing how far you can push yourself and practicing love and just practicing higher vibrational emotions and just thought processes, really. And that's why you get that push constantly to meditate and to cleanse, because you always want to, this is such a push for you guys to raise your vibration. So yeah, we have also the new moon in Taurus, which talks about prosperity lies ahead, along with the Chariot card as well, with Archangel Metatron, an important achievement, self-discipline, and willpower and public recognition. These 2 cards right here is definitely letting me know that you guys are definitely, I feel like, people in pile number 4, you guys are not, a lot of you guys aren't working like 9 to 5s. You guys have something that you feel passionate about. You guys have something that you've been actively working on. And I feel like this is also kind of linked to also how much you're willing to show your real authentic self and like how this prosperity is going to lie out for you guys. You know, I feel like with some people, this is Hecate just saying that you need to start showing the world who the real you is. So that way the prosperity, that way all this energy can start going forward, because the only way that these events can happen is if you start living your authentic self instead of trying to be what you feel like other people want to see in yourself. You just start being your true self, start exposing this part of yourself, this sensitive side of yourself that you used to hide because of other people in your past, and truly just realize that there's people in here. I have these backwards. And start realizing that this part of you that you always would protect, you don't need to well, it is important to protect it, but you don't need to protect it because there's something wrong with you. You just need to protect it because those who don't understand you could potentially hurt you, but those who do get it are truly going to get it. And that's, you know, that's how people are going to feel called to you. That's how you're going to have like your own tribe, I feel like, and people who resonate with your work or with your passions or with your art. Truly, for you guys, I don't like your guys' Impale number 4's message was just very straightforward in that for you guys, this is just a time for you to allow this time to really develop your character in the sense of being more sensitive, in the sense of being very, like Mother Teresa keeps being brought up to me in my head right now. I feel like Hecate is really trying to ask you to get more in touch with your emotional side, get more in touch with the side that takes the higher road, you know, the side that is the bigger person. You know, this is really Hecate asking you to be the bigger person right now. And the stone that I pulled for you guys, that Hecate is suggesting for you guys to pull, to work with in pile number 4 is, I had a subscriber tell me how to pronounce this card stone, but I don't know how to pronounce it right now. Charwhite. Girl, I can't be bothered. Charwhite. I'm gonna just spell it out for y'all. Y'all can look it up. Charoite. Y'all can look it up. I can't be bothered. Regardless, I always like to tell people to look up the metaphysical benefits so that way you can see how it would resonate with you in your life and see, you know, it's always good to pick up a purposeful stone. Be like, okay, I'm getting this stone because it really will help me with with my voice, my speaking voice. It'll really help with my third eye. Whatever it is, you always want to know why it is you're picking up the stone rather than just picking it up because you're told to, or picking it up because it just looks pretty, right? I always like to view stones as like tools, and you always want to utilize your tools, right? So if this reading did resonate with you guys in pile number 4, I would love to hear it. Let me know which card resonated with you. Let me know how this reading and how this affects you, how this really impacts in your dynamic in your life, right? I would love to hear about it. If it did resonate with you and you love pick cards and you want to see more future pick cards, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up because that encourages me to do more. But until next time, guys, I love you so much. Bye.